Hello and welcome. This is Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is going to be a message for, I would say, like star seeds. And it's kind of been coming through like quite extensively for those that are gravitating in the realm of like having gifts, of being an indigo, of being a crystalline. You may very well be energized. You could be in this process of unfolding of forgiveness. And you could be kind of shifting your abilities into a magnetization of like what it is you hope, wish, dream, desire for your life to look like, right? Because we're all collectively creating these timelines. And we're understanding like what the ripple is and how we bounce in between the two, right? And it's a kind of coming into a phase where it's time for you to selectively choose what timeline you want to be in, work in, operate in, hold a perspective in, right? And so like you're gonna notice you are gonna wobble. It's part of the energetic signatures of what are happening right now in the collective. And so as you're like kind of seeing with divine clarity, like the way that the world is reflecting that you should be in an old timeline, right? It's almost like you are feeling like you are in an older timeline, something you've already lived before. However, you're like repeating a process, but you're not, because you're doing it from a state of knowledge. And so at this time, you have to ask yourself, what are the things that you have still yet to resolve that are currently in your field, right? What emotions, thoughts, pattern recognition, whatever it may be, like take a moment and jot it down, write it out, and try to get clarity on like what a blessing it is to go through this and affect another lineage of people, right? Through encounter, through correspondence, through like an activation within self. And so as you're coming in contact with all these different people, right? Variations, plays. You can call it what you want, but you're essentially planting the seed of awakening in people that you are interacting with, right? And for those of you that are kind of choosing this small circle vibe, right? Like you're here to have a mission to affect the collective, right? You're here to be a tower, a brink, to really help transform the earth chakra, right? We're all in perpetual motion. So accessing your spiritual gifts are going to kind of, it's like setting the ball in motion, if that makes sense. They're just saying like your tower being activated, your tower being your vessel, like through the magnetical frequencies of like you changing your... They're saying dichotomy, but like it's like changing, like you being on your own pendulum swing, right? And understanding that you are going to have the ebb and flows. You're going to have days where like it doesn't feel like there's any hope, right? Where there is like resistance in corners, and like coming into a state of being or in a state of alignment within your own journey, when you can pause in the reflection of that which you're encountering right now. And you say, God, what is the lesson out of this? Like, why would this unfold the way it is? Right? And honor and be still. And understand that we all pick different journeys. And until we identify and fully release the play that we had been exposed to during those peak years of development, right? However you chose to process, dilute, bury, work through, it's kind of like in order to truly heal the earth, you have to heal every single aspect of those wounds, of those exposures, of those blueprints, right? In order for you to download, upload, regulate a brand new blueprint. And that's to get you onto a higher timeline, to get you out of a state of your old. And so like like honor that journey of the things that are coming up, right? Through your own indecisions, right? Through your own second guessing, through your blueprint. Like, because here's the thing is we don't realize sometimes that we are picking up an exact blueprint of a reality for a loved one. And like, even though you can say, I didn't get married, I didn't have kids, I didn't do da-da-da-da-da, right? Or I did have kids, I have got married, high mind, like super conscious, communication is on point, like, and then you're going to be exposed with these old threads of connection that are essentially going to try to throw you into a lower vibration, into a lower timeline. It's kind of like wiping the knowledge that you've done up to this point. And the question is why? Why is energy, consciousness, ego, mammalian brain, like you can call it whatever you want, but there is a portion in your codex, in your coding, in your vibrational frequency, in your resonance of your body that is telling you that you have to hold on to this old vibration. And the real question is like, where does that even stem from? Have you gone into the deep dive of like, why do I think the way I think? You know, who told me that this is the way I always think? Right? Who was the one who perpetuated like the negativity? Instead of giving you praise through the wins, they gave you praise through the negativity, through the yeah, they just said it's like it's the blueprints of abandonment, or feeling isolated, feeling alone, feeling like you don't fit, right? It's the homesick of being home from the stars, right? And we can mistake the lacking or the longing for the home, right? The stars, the original source spark, like the very center of consciousness. For those of you that have done past life regression, you know what I'm talking about. Like the love that is the all, the I am. And it's like through the morning of the pathways that we've decided to choose in this lifetime, right? Because every single moment of every single day, you are making an active choice to live in the way that you're living, to impact the way that you are impacting. And so like the question is like, are you impacting the collective the way that you envisioned it to be your highest timeline, right? And if it's not, like the question is how many steps does it going to take for you to get to that point where you are? And that's a big understanding, right? In the polarity of like your own duality, looking at your own shadow side, looking at another shadow side, looking at the wounded inner child, looking at like the developmental phases which were interrupted. It's kind of like when you peel back the layers of the auric field, if you peel back the layers of the journey of self. And I'm kind of getting like that's kind of what you've been doing to become aligned within your heart center, your throat, and your communication. And it's kind of like reattuning your manifestation abilities. And so like by honoring like that this is not your original home, right? By this is not your original frequency. Like a lot of you would prefer to deal with individuals with a higher frequency, right? Intention, ceremony, Vega, service, future. It's, okay, thank you. They just said it's, yeah, it's the missing link. It's the service to self versus the service to others. And it's kind of hard, right? Because you can come across old indigos and old crystallines because it's not like the first incarnation cycle, right? And it can be a state of like hard thought patterns of like, how could somebody who has all the potential to step in their gifts never really dormant and then get upset at individuals that choose to step into their gifts, right? And that is the, gotcha. It is in fact the paradox. It's, It's kind of like the where you realize like not everybody's journey is going to be your journey. And that can be a hard pill to swallow. It can be stated that one is only choosing to evolve if they do X, Y, Z, and they follow this person, and this person. And that could be also quite a misconception, right? Because we all walk with the God spark in us. We all walk with that original source. And so, good, bad, indifferent. Like, we all have the original flooded blueprints. Whether or not there's different facets to that aspect, right? But look at it as the all, as the I am, lose the I, become the we. It's through the course of like releasing the old self, you then step into the new self. And you are downloading things that are outside of your wheelhouse. It's like you didn't research it. You didn't understand where it came from. It just downloaded and it's now a portion of your desire. And they're just saying like, what are you putting on the altar of like your life, of your hopes, wishes, dreams, desires? Like, what aspect of self are you putting in for the others? It's kind of like, it's not service to self, it's service of others, but it's like you are... They just said it's like a reflection of service to self. But it's not. It's like for other people. It's like, it's almost like you would hope that you have other desires as other people. Yeah, and through that process, hitting the 1111, that radiance of what is coming in November. It's kind of like as you are continually aligning with self, you are then becoming the missing link within the process, right? And so then there is, it's citrine, lotus, apatite, sequoia trees, and clouds. And I mean, maybe that's something that you are needing, is getting into a vibration of where the sequoias grow, of understanding like the piece of the rebirthing process. Yeah, it's kind of like the recollection within self. It's like once you understand that you are walking peace, that you are like aligning within, it's understanding that everything takes a process, right? It comes through balance, it comes through wholeness, it comes through like the reflection of what it is that you're projecting out, and like through the consistent persistencies of like leaning into, no, today I'm making a new choice. Today I am operating out of energy. I am operating out of balance. I am operating out of a state of forgiveness. I am operating out of a state of alignment. It's bringing you into a state of peace. And it's kind of like when you finally start believing it because you've said it so much, you know, even if you're upset, you're like, I'm grateful and blessed for today, you know, and it's, you kind of are overriding your own program, and that's aligning with your heart-centered muscle. It's like that tube of light that is heart-centered consciousness. It's like that's the only thing that can be derived from your energy source. It's like regardless of what somebody else shows up with, like you are still emanating out of that heart center. And it's just kind of aligning you into a state of favor with the great I am. And it's, I mean, if this is not a starseed, it's definitely clarifying. This is a starseed reading. And remember, like part of your overall compass of the energy source that you're here for is to be in a state of bliss, to be in a state of happiness. And so, to create that change, like what is the one thing that you are going to add into your routine that just kind of brings you into a state of alignment, brings you into a state of ease, brings you into a state of play, into joy, into peace, right? And leaning into, even if that's only something that you pull in once a week, like give yourself those 2 hours to like cut loose and just kind of be in creative mode, right? Where you can be with yourself. You're not being impeded with another, like you are doing what is filling up your own cup. It's kind of taking that selfish time for self to get lost in that one thing that you like to do. And hey, if you can incorporate more, like do that. But it's kind of like, this is the initiation to your new life. It's through the clarity of that pathway that is going to help you hone in, right? And whenever you are feeling anxious, or you feel like you're having a panic attack, or you feel like there's like this heaviness on your chest, like go grab a citrine and wear it, like a ring, bracelet, necklace, pendant, like get it on your body so that it like is directly reshifting your vibrational frequencies. And for you that are crystalline, obviously you can change the magnetic frequencies of the stones, so it's up to you to depend what you want to place into it. It's through this exploration of like what's bringing you back into balance through the persistence of your own evolution, identifying that darkness that was holding, and then releasing everything. It's going to drop you back into like your own frequencies, your own alignment. It's like, feed your mind what you want more of, right? If at the end of something you listen to, you feel icky, then put it away and don't feed into it any longer. Like you should be at a point of being where you are constantly feeding your mind, you're feeding your soul, and you're looking for like-minded people that are amplifying the same thing back to you, right? And that's kind of like that evolutionary piece. I'm going to leave that there. Hopefully something in this resonated with you. If it did, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you would like a reading or a healing, all my information is below. Until next time, be well. Ciao.